Laura Bradford learned what you're learning, and she decided to walk precincts in Grand Junction over in Mesa County. And she started walking her precincts and meeting people like Susan and convincing them to go to caucus and convincing them to go to their county assembly and to vote for Laura Bradford because she wanted to be in the State House of Representatives. Now, Laura Bradford happened to be represented by a gentleman by the name of Bernie Busher. Anybody heard of Bernie Busher? He's our Secretary of State now. Why is he the Secretary of State? Because Laura Bradford beat him. He's arguably the most powerful Democrat in the State House last year. He was supposed to be the Speaker of the House this year, but he couldn't be Speaker of the House because he didn't get reelected. And the way Laura Bradford did this is to go out and meet Susan, and meet Nikki, and just walk her precincts. She got the maps out and figured out where the Republicans lived in her House district, and she walked that, and she had this much money, and he had this much money, and she beat him. So, when Mike Kaufman was elected to Congress in the 6th, Governor Ritter had the authority to appoint somebody. Well, gosh, there was somebody who had free time on his hands, and he appointed Bernie Busher to be our Secretary of State. And frankly, I've got to say, I think Bernie Busher's done a reasonable job. I'm not here to slam him. You know, for those of you who might be not in my party, I'm not here to slam him. I wanted to use that example because this information is powerful. If you get elected at the right time, if you know when Christmas morning, the other analogy I like to use is a merry-go-round. If you know when that horse is going to stop, called caucus, you and a bunch of people from the neighborhood would say, jump on. And then you can go make things like Laura Bradford happen because you can get excited and go to an assembly and vote for somebody like Laura Bradford. Secretary of State, we've got a good friend who helped me in the school board elections. Scott Gessler is a political warrior, and he's running against Bernie Busher, so we'll see which one of those. But I do like to tease Scott because, again, he's a political attorney, a pretty high-powered guy. He's kind of a big guy, muscular guy. And I tell Scott, I just hope that you can be the next Laura Bradford. She's just a great lady. What a great win. State Treasurer, Kerry Kennedy, the author of C&D, and amendment, was it 23 or 24?
23.
23. This is the amendment that gives more funding to K through 12 education. No matter what the budget does, we give more money to K through 12 education. Right now, I think we give 48 or 49% of the total budget to K through 12. Huge. Anyway, she's our state treasurer, and we've got several Republicans running there. And if you have a preference, you want to be at the assembly to figure out who that would be. Or maybe you like Kerry. CU Regent, those are 4-year terms. Then we have National Committee Woman and National Committee Man, and these are 4-year terms. Right now, our National Committee man is Mark Hillman, former state treasurer, or former state senator, and he lost the treasurer's race to Kerry Kennedy 4 years ago. He is our National Committee man. And our National Committee woman is a lady from Douglas County by the name of Lily Nunez. Her husband, Joe, was a state representative until he took an appointment with the Bush administration. Do you want me to talk about any more of this in this setting?
Sure.
Okay.
Mark's not up. Is Lily up for re-election this year?
No. These were both elected in 2008, so they're up again in 2012, not 2010. So, next year, we know what our 3 goals are: U.S. House seat, Governor's seat, U.S. Senate seat. All right?
Supreme Court.
So, Supreme Court. So, we're all going to be delegates. We're all going to learn stuff. This is going to be an exciting year. And then you're going to come back and do this again at the caucus in 2012. Because you want to go to the State Assembly in 2012 because we'll be electing a new National Committee man and a new National Committee woman. Just so we understand, we're all on the same page. We're talking about the RNC, the Republican National Committee, or the DNC. All right? And the people who get to represent their state on the RNC or the DNC are the chairman, Dick Wadhams or Pat Wack, and then 2 elected members of that party from the state. Right now, it's Mark Hillman and Lily Nunez. In 2012, I want you all to go to your caucus and get elected as a delegate because there's somebody here who's going to stand for election in 2012. If you want someone who will speak the truth and tell it like it is, it's my friend Krista Hutz. So please keep that in mind. So, And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, cool thing.
By the way.
Right.
So, Chris is very interested in running for National Committee Women, and that would be very exciting to see. April through August, we come out of the State Assembly. The people who get 30% or more are out running and they're on the ballot. People who get less than 30%, they have a tough decision to make. Do I want to petition on? People who get less than 10%, they're done, they're home, and they're, oh. This is where the campaigning starts. We start seeing more commercials and ads and more direct mail, and you get people like me knocking on your door. Hi, Susan, how are you? Remember me? Now I'm back again. Here's some literature for you. They're all running for this thing that happens in the even year called the primary. Remember, we didn't have one of these in the odd year. It only happens in the even year. Here's another reason to affiliate and get involved instead of taking your ball and bat and go home. In the August primary, the Republicans in Colorado get a ballot that has any contested race that affects them where there's 2 or more Republicans running for a seat. And there's no Democrats on that ballot. And then the Democrats get a ballot, a different ballot, that has Democrats on it running in contested races where there's 2 or more Democrats running for the same seat. Right? So the Democrats vote for Democrats, and Republicans vote for Republicans. Who do the unaffiliated voters vote for?
They don't.
Nobody. They don't even get a ballot. Right? So, if you want to have more choice, if you want to have more independence, don't be unaffiliated. And this is a sort of a core lesson of this class. And we try not to start off with this because I can see people say, anybody here call yourself an independent? All right.
Just for tonight.
Has anyone taken the time, I'm not trying to recruit you, but just taken the time to explain gently and lengthfully, at great length, you have one choice. You get to vote in November of 2010. I get to vote at caucus, at my county assembly, at my congressional, my judicial, my state. I get to vote 5, 6, 7 times. I get to vote for who I want to be my senator, my governor, maybe, attorney general. That one won't be a vote. But I get all these votes. And the people, I think our culture has misled people to believe that independent means that you're independent, that you have more choice. You don't. You have one choice, one opportunity. Yes?
Say you're affiliated with a party, and then you're helping decide what that party's candidates are going to be or whatever. And then you decide by some miraculous event that you want to change parties and go to another party. What would be a good time? When would you change back? Or when would you change affiliation?
Before January 15th. Because this whole, the day
well,
one...
I understand the January 15th.
Afterwards.
After January 15th.
The other date would be June 15th, or actually June 19th, so you're able to vote in the primary of that party 60 days prior.
So you can actually be in a party on the 5th, on January, and then sometime between January and
June,
then you could make a decision that you've made the wrong choice.
Sure.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
Or if she wants to go through the entire assembly process and vote in the August primary for the same assembly candidates, then she can switch after the August primary back to whatever the original party affiliation was.
If I so choose. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but at that point, after the August primary, your affiliation doesn't matter.
Right, but it matters sentimentally. Someone might have gotten a line for a specific purpose, and they want to switch back to where they were because that's where they're more comfortable.
Now,
Okay.
I've been at this game for 41 years. I've never taken an oath. I talk to people who say, well, I won't vote the party slave. Okay. I've got the entire voter registration in Douglas County on my laptop at home. I can see when people registered, how they registered, and with the relational database that I have, I can see every time they voted. But I have no idea who they voted for. If you are a registered Republican and you voted for Obama, Nobody knows. And there's no